Welcome to another edition of Turn 5 Racing. For tonight, I'm your host, Jake from State Farm. We have got the pits are packed here at Desoto Speedway, a huge night of racing as we've got the season finales for the TBARA Wing Sprints, the season finale for the Joey Coulter Florida Pro Truck Series as they have a 75-lap feature race here to decide the championship as we have a tie coming in tonight between Becca Monopoly and Steve Darval. And to boot that, we've got 75 laps with the JD Byrider open wheel modified shootout. Well over 20 open wheel modifieds are here to compete for a huge payout in one of the biggest races in the state. Let's check in with some of our drivers here before we get started tonight. Turn 5 Racing here. We're with the winner of the Frank Riddle Memorial last time out of the TBARA Wing Sprints, and the current points leader with the TBARA Wing Sprints is Shane Butler. Shane, you had a big emotional win the last time out here. Saw you climbing up in the flag stand after that. That had to have been a huge win for you last time out.
Yeah, it really was. You know, it had so many special meanings. For one, it was my first race back before Bud passed away, and that was pretty cool to me. And then, of course, Frank Riddle Memorial, that just capped off the whole night. You know, in dramatic fashion, last lap. You know, getting a job done. You know, that was all pretty cool.
And tonight, we got great weather here tonight. I know these sprint cars, they have got to love this kind of weather, and you guys are going to be flying around this place later. Got a strong, heavy wind there. What's it been like out there, you know, with the wind and everything out there in practice so far?
Well, I mean, for me, the car's actually been doing some goofy stuff. You know, I thought the right front was falling off there at last practice. It just, getting down to 3, it just, of course, the bump that is DeSoto Speedway, you know, but we'll be on our toes, that's for sure. You know, 40 laps and windy conditions like this, it should be very interesting.
And you come here tonight looking to wrap up the 2014 championship. How great has this season been, and how awesome would it be with a really stout field of cars here tonight? How great would it be to cap off this season with another victory and claim that 2014 championship?
Oh, it'll just be tremendous, you know, to cap off the year that we've had. You know, it's been pretty good. There's a couple races that I really wish that hadn't happened, but this would be really, really good to finish off. You know, if we can't get the job done, hey, I have no complaints. You know, it's racing, nothing's guaranteed. You know, that's why we race, and you know, I just can't thank everybody enough that's helped me and been behind me all season, and hopefully we can finish it out for them.
Yeah, well, you're excited to have the TBARA Wing Sprints out here this season. Shane's looking to pick up another victory here tonight, but more importantly, he's got that 2014 championship. Trying to lock that up here tonight. They'll be going for it later here tonight. Shane Butler, good luck tonight, and thanks for joining us on Turn 5 this year. We appreciate it. Thank you. Turn 5 Racing, we're here with Chris Gimler. Now, Chris, you're competing tonight in the TBARA Wing Sprint Race, but you've been competing for Rookie of the Year so far this year in the TBARA Wing Sprint Series. What's it been like this first year? I believe you were running TQ Midgets and you jumped up here into the Wing Sprints. What's that transition been like in running this first year?
It's been a blast. These things have so much power that really easy to just spin the tires, and it's way different from a TQ.
Now, you run with some really, really tough competitors. Troy DeCare is here tonight. Shane Butler looking to wrap up the championship. What kind of experience can you gain from being able to race with these kind of drivers, you know, who are, you know, really, really high repertoire and, you know, just have a lot of experience on these tracks? What's it like to, you know, be able to get some experience running with guys like that?
It's awesome. I mean, I grew up watching these guys. I grew up watching them race when I was younger with my dad, and it's pretty cool to race with my dad now. I mean, I feel like I can, you know, if I can keep up with them, I can keep up with anybody.
Now, kind of strange track conditions that we've had. Haven't had this cool weather yet so far this year. What's it like? You know, can you feel the car moving around a little bit more? We got a pretty strong wind here tonight. What was it like in practice for you?
Yeah, that wind really sends you into turn 4, like all the way up to the top, and I don't know. It helps you through 1 and 2 though. It's weird, you know. It hurts, but it helps at the same time.
Now, as you go to wrap up the Rookie of the Year here with the Wing Sprints, what do you got looking forward to next year? You know, what are your future plans like, and what do you think your racing career is going to be like here these next couple of years?
Well, we're going to have a different car, either me or my dad. We got a different car coming up. It was built by an awesome guy named Dean Bartholomew. I crashed a couple of weeks ago here, and he put my whole car back together. He is just awesome, and his son is an awesome racer. He helped me. He races mini sprints, and it'll just be exciting. Hopefully, I can maybe run for something on the top next year.
Well, Chris, congratulations on what's been a great season so far, and good luck here tonight for you. And who do you got to thank with being out here?
My dad, and my uncle. My uncle sets up everything. My dad, he brings me, he helps me out at the house. My grandpa, he probably, I think he pays for everything. And my grandma, and my grandpa drives us up here. Everybody in my whole family. Dean, Steve Wheeler gave me the seat to race in here. It's just awesome. I've had so much help, and it's just awesome to be out here.
All right, well, Chris, good luck tonight. Congrats on having a great rookie campaign here with the TBARA Wing Sprints, and congratulations on wrapping up the season. Turn 5 racing, we're here with the co-points leader in the Joey Coulter Florida Pro Truck Series, Becca Monopoly. You've had a great season so far. You've racked up 5 wins in the series. Looking to cap off the season tonight with a championship, but how great of a year has this been? You've gone to a lot of different tracks, even winning a couple races on dirt earlier this year. What's this season been like so far?
It's been an amazing season. I think we started out the season with a win. Been leading since race 1. We've been leading. So tonight's a pretty big night now that we're tied. It's been pretty nerve-wracking the past week or so. No one would come into this tied. Just got to try and do our best tonight and try and get a couple bonus points on him and try and keep the lead. If worst, at least stay tied.
Now this is such a difficult series to run because you're not just running at one type of track. You've got your small little, flatter quarter-mile tracks. You got the 3/8 high bank track here, and then like we said, you're running on dirt. How difficult is it to, go from track to track like that and for you to be so successful at all different types?
I like the smaller tracks, and he does better on the larger tracks, so tonight we will see how it goes. The dirt track was definitely a big step. It was really fun. It was hard to get used to at first, but we got really lucky. We actually beat him. We all thought he was going to make it, but it was fun. I can't wait to go back next year.
What about tonight? We got cool track weather conditions tonight. You've been out there doing some practice laps. What's the truck feeling like tonight with this cooler weather and everything, and that crazy wind blowing off of turn 1 there? What was it like in practice?
Well, we started last night practice so we could try it when it was colder out, and the truck's loving the cold weather, so we're going faster than we ever have at all this year with it. And I'm not really feeling any sway with the truck and the turns, luckily. I'm hoping later it just stays good, doesn't get loose, and just consistent tonight.
All right, well, Becca, congratulations on having a great season up to this point. It's going to be a great battle tonight. Like I said, tied for the points lead with Steve Darval. Becca's going to be looking for win number 6 to try to wrap up the year and try to wrap up the championship. Thank you for joining us on Turn 5. We appreciate it. Thank you. Turn 5 racing, we are joined here with the co-points leader in the Joey Coulter Florida Pro Truck Series. That's got to sound pretty good to hear that coming into this last race of the year. Tell us what kind of a year it's been to get to this point and to put yourself into championship contention, because I know it's been kind of rough at sometimes this year, and you haven't even been able to run your truck in some races, having to use other trucks to compete for the championship. What's it taken to get you where you are today?
A lot of hard work, long hours. A little bit of luck last week at Showtime, but last time I talked to you asked me what I needed to do, and I said win and get fast times, and that's what we've been doing, and we've crawled our way back into this points championship.
You've picked up 3 wins this year, including one here at Desoto earlier this year. You've got to be loving that we're coming here to Desoto to wrap up this championship, one of your stronger tracks, and a track that Becca has struggled at times but she seemed to be running a little more consistent here. What kind of a run do you think it's going to take in order to beat her tonight and to win this championship?
Well, I'm coming into this race the same way I do every race. We're going to go out there and try and set fast time and win this race, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get there and hopefully not have any bad luck or mechanical failures, and race clean and hard, and we'll see how it ends up.
And we were talking about this nice cool weather we got here today. Strong wind coming off of turn 1, shooting across to turn 3. What's it been like in practice? The conditions. How's the car been reacting to the heavy winds and the cooler temperatures?
Well, with the cooler temperatures, we tend to free up a little bit, and that allows for quicker lap times. The motor likes the cooler weather. The tires like the cooler weather. I like the cooler weather. So it's a good thing. It's going to be a great show tonight.
All right, well, Steve Darval, It's been a great run getting yourself into this position here to compete for the championship here tonight. He's got, like I said, tied for the points lead, the last race of the season. I don't know if you could have written a better script. Steve Darval's looking to pick up another win here at DeSoto Speedway and the 2014 Joey Coulter Series Championship. Turn 5 racing, we're here with Nick Hernandez. Nick, you're pulling double duty tonight. The Joey Coulter Series is running 75 laps, wrapping up their season, and the big JD Byrider Open Wheel Modified 75-lap shootout. So you're going to be a tired man here after all the races tonight. How's the track felt in both the car and the truck with these cooler temperatures today?
Yeah, the cooler temperatures definitely helped. The track has a little bit more traction than normal, so we're able to drive it in a little bit deeper and pick it up a little bit sooner.
Now, I'll talk about the truck here first. Last time out here, you almost spoiled the show with the Joey Coulter Series, came home second. What do you think your chances are? Because, I mean, they're going to wrap up and they're fighting for their championship, but you could come in here and snag one of the wins here to end the season. How'd that feel?
It feel pretty good. Last time we came out here, we brought the truck last minute, and we still finished second, which was a good run for us. And now it's going to be interesting to see that we've had our time to fix what was wrong with it and get everything square and ready to go, and I think it's going to be a good show.
Now, this JD Byrider Open Wheel Modified Shootout, this is the biggest field of cars we've had out here so far this year. A lot of guys that we either haven't seen out here much or guys that haven't even run out here in general. This is a huge field of cars. How tough is it going to be racing against some of the biggest names and some of the best cars in the state of Florida?
It's definitely going to be tough. You got some good cars out here. I'm just hoping to stay somewhere up front and kind of hold my own for a little bit and see if somebody will burn their tires up, and I can just try to keep that right rear tire on. Cars handle real good in practice. It's going to be real interesting to see with all these good cars out here tonight.
Nick's looking to pick up a big paycheck here tonight with the JD Byrider Open Wheel Modified Shootout, and he's trying to double up with the pro trucks here for the Joey Coulter Series. Nick, congratulations on what's been an awesome year so far, and good luck here these next few weeks as we wrap up the season.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Turn 5 Racing is presented by Dean's Tree Service. You know, this time of year in Florida, we've got to be wary of the potential for hurricanes. The last thing you want is the risk of damaging your home and property. Dean's Tree Service specializes in large and dangerous tree removals for prepping for hurricane season. From tree trimming and removal to pruning and hauling, stump grinding, lot clearing, storm cleanup, and even mulching. Dean's Tree Service, 24-hour service from licensed and insurance professionals who guarantee to beat any written estimate. Call Dean's Tree Service at 941-650-8114. That's 941-650-8114. And be sure to tell them you heard about it on Turn 5 Racing. Another great night of racing in the books here at DeSoto Speedway. We're with the winner of the Safety Clean TBARA Wing Sprints. 91 car Troy DeCare. Troy, you wanted to redeem yourself after a disappointing finish a couple weeks ago. I mean, you had such a stellar car then, and the car was it looked even better almost tonight. Tell us how great it was to come back and pick up a win tonight.
Yeah, Jake, I mean, Scott knows how important the Frank Riddle Memorial was to me in general. I always like coming back to Florida. I get to do it limited, and winning here is always special. And that particular race, honoring a guy like Frank Riddle, was something I really wanted to do. And it proves the point that the fastest car don't always win the race. But tonight, we were able to come back, put 40 good laps together, and bring home a win that, you know, regardless of where it's at in the country or what the payout is, it's winning here is special and important to me. And DeSoto has always been one of my favorite tracks, and I consider it my home track. Between here and Citrus, I'm about 60 miles from either one of them, so both of them are very important. And you know, I travel a lot, and I tell everybody this place is the raciest and probably built perfectly for wing pavement sprint cars. And you know, I'm just thankful that we finally came back and got the job done.
And whenever we have the sprint cars on here, we have to have Mr. Sprint Car Scott Lockwood join us. Scott, another great race tonight. You know, we were clicking off the laps up there, and you know, we were keeping an eye on Troy, watching him work his way up through the field. I mean, what did you observe tonight?
Well, yeah, it's like we were talking before the race. We were kind of making little prop bets. How long is it going to take him to get up there? How long is it going to take him to get up there? And you know, he did the same thing, kind of went on the outside early. And just tell us about how that car was in the beginning. I know you tried the outside line. Didn't have as much success with it this time as you did a couple weeks ago, but just tell us about the early stages of the race and getting to the lead and running the 22 down.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks ago, it's hard to duplicate a car like that. I mean, that was unreal. But nonetheless, we came back and unloaded a car that was still class of the field. And I started on the inside, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But actually, Butler, I think, or spun the tires or did something, like left a hole, and I might have sawed him off. But I jumped up there quick and was able to make it work. And I don't know if the track maybe had some rain or did some stuff. It was a little greener this weekend, but it didn't quite have the outside lane. I kept walking up, trying to watch the 75-lap modified race. They didn't quite get up there. A couple guys did, and they would lose the nose, and I didn't really see it happening. But I was able to make it work on guys where if I could get over the right front, I could stay up there. But for the most part, I just settled in and maybe took my time a little bit, because starting 9th is a lot better than 26th. As opposed to 2 weeks ago. But, just took what was given to me and was able, like I said, driving a car like the 91, it allows you that luxury of, take a guy, set him up, pass him, and then move on to the next. And got to the lead and was able to control the pace of the race from there on. Even though a bunch of cautions came, we were still able to, like I said, kind of dictate the pace and run the tires how I wanted to.
Right. That 91 car has a heck of a tradition here. I know Dave Steele won a lot of races here in that car, and you've run it all over the country too. Just talk about how, like you said in Victory Lane, that car can drive itself here almost. Just what's it mean to you to be able to drive that car and win races for Lenny Puglio in that car? Right.
Well, I grew up in Florida, and I've watched the greats come through here, and I was a sprint car fan before anything, and I was fortunate enough to start off in the 68 car by George Rudolph, which is a legendary piece in the state. And then I chased that 91 for years, and it broke my heart a few times, chasing a guy like Dave Steele. And Lenny and Todd put together a car that's just, it's flawless. And for them to think enough of me to put me in it was awesome, because driving the 68 was a dream come true, and then to follow it up with a ride like the 91, that solidifies two of the greatest cars to ever roll through this state. And when they call you to run it, you drive down from Indy and you hop in it, and that's what I did. So. And it makes it worthwhile when you can look at that 14-hour drive here in a little bit, but you can look back in the back seat and see a trophy.
Right. I know TBA area is finished now until Speed Weeks next year. Will we see you more in a 91 car maybe down here again next year?
Yeah, I think I'm going to step back and not be so much of a driver anymore and kind of be a crew guy. And I'm kind of just going to moonlight a little bit and do the stuff I want to do, the little 500, the 91 car, probably Winchester, and I'll dabble in some stuff here and there, but a lot of it will probably be coming home to race, see family, race the places I want to run, DeSoto, New Smyrna, the places I grew up, enjoyed, and that are important to me. I'll be around. In Speed Weeks, you'll probably see me, depending on the car I work on. I'll be running with the World of Outlaws, so I think one of the nights conflicts, but I might be out at the Monday night at New Smyrna, and I heard they might be working on some stuff to come here to DeSoto in February or March. And you may see me then. So hopefully I can make it work and be back here and race in front of the hometown crowd.
No, you mentioned slowing down as a driver a little bit, but you did mention to me a couple weeks ago you still may do the Chili Bowl. Talk about, is that still on your radar?
I got to run it 3 of the last 4 years, and it's something like I'm not very good at, but it's the Chili Bowl. So it's it's the Catalina wine mixer. You got to go do it, right? So I got a few guys talking to me, and they always kind of want money. But if I can find something, I put it together. I'll be there nonetheless. But it's something I just enjoy doing, and I like it because nobody goes there to represent Florida. And every year I go, I get to carry the Florida flag, and that's something that's super important to me. It's on the belt of 2 of my fire suits, and even regardless of what main I'm in, the furthest I got up to is the C main on Saturday night, which is still pretty special. But being able to go do that and carry the Florida flag at the Tulsa Expo Center is something I take a lot of pride in.
Right.
Well, Troy, I only got one more thing to follow up with it is when I noticed it last time and again tonight, when you were rocking into the front, when you took the lead, the first thing I wanted to do when you took the lead, I looked down in the crowd, and hands were flying up in the air. People were hooting and hollering because they wanted to see that 91 car work its way up through the field. You talk about how great it is coming here and running at home. And a chilly night like tonight, typically you're not going to get a lot of Floridians out in kind of weather like this, but how much did it mean coming home, representing, and running at one of your local tracks, and the fan base here loving to see you come and run here?
Yeah, actually, it was kind of a question if I was going to come back or not. And after that last weekend, it's something that's rare for me. I had probably 75 Facebook notifications and inbox messages, and fans were like, "Man, you got robbed!" And it's racing. I guy blew an engine or a water line. I spun out. End of the day, that's what happened. Wasn't my night. But like I had some commitments, but it was almost like regardless of losing money or doing anything or just I had to come do it. And this is the point, like we wanted to prove. We wanted to come back and finish it. And there was a lot of people who were like, "God, I can't believe you drug us out in the cold." And it's like, I think it's cool because I never thought that, like I'd be that guy. Like the sprint car guys were my heroes. And I would have went out and froze my butt off to watch, Sam Rodriguez and Taylor Andrews and Wayne Ruderman. And, for these people to come out to want to watch me race is very emotional for me and very, like, I appreciate that because, like, I never thought 10 years ago when I jumped into a sprint car that would happen. And the people came out to trick or treat, the little kids were like, "You're my favorite driver." Like that stuff was like, it was really cool. And to come cap it off and actually seal the deal and win, like hopefully it'll help, build some new sprint car fans, build some new DeSoto Speedway fans, build some new Florida racing short track fans, because I feel like we have a great thing down here. We have good car counts, good racetracks, good people. And it doesn't always get the look because why would you take your family out and go when you can go to Disney World or the beach or whatever? But, if they can create a relationship with a driver or a track or a team or, just anybody or they have fun trick-or-treating, something like that, and they can come out, like I think that's really cool. And as a kid who grew up, idolizing drivers and idolizing, places like this, I remember walking through these gates when I was 4 years old to watch Rusty Dixon because that was my hero. And, to be a part of that, I think it's really cool, and hopefully something like that builds, and we can get short track racing in Florida back to what I think it should be or what it is.
Well, Troy, it was a great race tonight. Congratulations on the win, and we really appreciate you sticking out. I know you got a long drive ahead of you tonight, but we appreciate you, coming here and racing tonight. You put on an awesome show for the fans, and as always, sticking around and talking with us here on Turn 5. You guys have a good, safe trip back up to Indy, and we look forward to having you here at the track again next year, and hopefully on Turn 5 again next year. Great job tonight. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Scott.
Great to see you as always.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely look forward to coming back.
All right, that's Troy DeCare, driver the number 91, big winner tonight in the Safety Clean TBARA Wing Sprints. Tonight we started things with the rookie fours. Jimmy Best looking to wrap up the championship. He would get by the 7 of Kristen Milthaler to take the lead. Newcomer, the number 3 of Mason Cassidy, would get together with Milthaler, ending both of their nights. 67, Jimmy Best cruises to another win, as the 68 of Jesse Heidenthal would be second. The LKQ Pick Your Part Pure Stocks going for 25 laps early on. The 29 of Brad Tyndall would get out in front. Great battle for second between the 67 of Jimmy Best, the 8 of Shane Leonard, 98 Cody Allen, and the 18 of Troy Thiem. The number 3 of Dwayne Besson, 97 of Chris Scott. Dirt tracking it through turns 3 and 4, trying to get to the front. Great saves by both drivers. Jimmy Best in the 67, he would get by. He would take over the second position. Lap 17, the 44 of Rick Hess would go for a spin off at turn 4, tightens the field back up, and on the restart, side by side for the lead. And 1 lap later, Jimmy Best takes the lead. The 98 of Cody Allen gets by to take second, and the 3 of Dwayne Best, needing a good finish for points, would finish third. Cody Allen tries to get by but can't, and Jimmy Best would pick up the victory in the 67 car. Cody Allen in the 98 second, and Dwayne Best gets third, with a great battle between him and Chad Cummings and Shane Leonard coming to the line. Then it was a trick or treat the driver night. It was great to have all the kids out there tonight. Always one of the best nights of the year, having the drivers come out and passing out candy to all the kids, all the drivers out on the front stretch. Great time was had by all. It was our portion of the junior fan club tonight. So everyone, all of our drivers here at DeSoto Speedway, thank you so much for making Trick or Treat the driver night such a great success. So then it was built up. We've been much anticipated. It was the 75-lap JD Byrider open wheel modified shootout. No points, just big money and big pride to the driver that would score the victory. 26 modifieds, making up a huge field of the best drivers in the state. The 8-car DJ Hosel was fast qualifier. Top 14 would draw for spots, and the pole would go to Jesse Dutilli, the 2014 Bright House Challenge Series champ, making his first start in an open-wheel modified, subbing for the 84 of Robert Haygood. Right off the bat, problems for the 94. Dalton Nelson would get turned in turns 1 and 2. 99 of Cody Stickler would then take the early lead with the 0 of Josh Todd close behind. Lap 15, following a restart, Josh Todd would take the lead just before the 21 of Devin McLeod and the 3 of Wayne Jefferson would get together. On a lap 31 restart, the leader, Josh Todd, would slam the turn 1 wall hard. Tough break for Todd, who had a fast car tonight. Side by side for the lead between Stickler and Dutilli, with the 8 of DJ Hosel and the 55 of Travis Rowland running 3rd and 4th. Lap 35, give the 84 of Dutilli the top spot and move the 8 of Hosel to 2nd. Jesse Dutilli would pick up the $250 halfway leader bonus, brought to you by Larson & Son Landscaping, Gun Welding and Fabrication, and Z Sharp. But on the restart, the 8, DJ Hosel, he would get by Dutilli to take over first. Caution comes out on lap 48 as the 57 of Timmy Moore would spin in turns 3 and 4. Lap 52, caution comes out. The 37, Nick Hernandez, spins in turn 4 and would collect a few other cars, but all the cars would continue. Lap 63, the 55, Travis Rowland, he would get to the lead and get around Hosel, and he would have the 99, Cody Stickler, lurking back in 3rd. Lap 68, 94, Dalton Nelson drives it in a little too hard into turn 3, and he would lose it all on his own. So 7 laps to go. Rowland and Hosel running up front. Rowland spins the tires really bad on a restart, and Hosel would get the lead. 3 to go. Rowland is right there. Last lap, he goes inside. They get together, and at the line, the 8 of DJ Hosel picks up the win. The 55, Travis Rowland, is 2nd, and the 99, Cody Stickler, would take 3rd. What an awesome race, and thank you to JD Byrider for all of their support of the open wheel modifieds here at DeSoto Speedway. Next, we have the season finale for the TBARA Wing Sprints. Shane Butler leads Ben Fritz coming into this last race, but a field of hungry drivers looking to get that last trophy of the 2014 season. 40 laps the distance. 22-car Johnny Gilbertson starts on pole, and right from the start, the 91, Troy DeCare, goes to the outside. He let a win slip away from him 2 weeks ago, and he was determined to not let that happen again. He goes from 9th to 5th in just 5 laps. Gilbertson leads over the 21 of Matt Alfonso. 10 laps in, DeCare is moved up into 3rd. Right behind him, the 18 of Shane Butler. Lap 14, DeCare goes to the outside to take over 2nd. 2 laps later, he gets by to take the lead. Lap 18, caution would come out as the 15 of Troy Thompson would spin. Top 2 in points, Shane Butler and Ben Fritz running 4th and 5th. Caution immediately then after that as the J1 of Mike Tharp would hit the wall in turn number 2. Then we got big problems. Points leader, the 18 of Shane Butler, he gets into the wall, and this is going to make things very interesting with the points championship. Can Ben Fritz capitalize? Well, Butler would continue, and on lap 21, the 16 of Ben Fritz would move into the 2nd spot. He wants that championship, but Shane Butler was not going to quit. DeCare still leading, begins to negotiate lap traffic with 10 to go, still leading Ben Fritz. Troy DeCare, he was not to be denied tonight as he picks up the victory in dominating fashion. The 16, Ben Fritz, with a great 2nd place finish. Larry Brazil Jr. in 3rd, and Shane Butler recovers to finish 4th, but most importantly, he recovers and he will claim the 2014 Safety Clean TBARA Championship. Then it was the season finale for the Joey Coulter Fellows Truck Brokers Florida Pro Truck Series 75 lapper. Steve Darvalix and Becca Monopoly come in tied for the points lead. Darvalix the fast qualifier, so he would get his title shot off to a great start. Corey Bigley in the 28 would start on pole, Monopoly starting 8th, Darvalix in 9th. The 25 of Cody McDuffie would get by Bigley to take the top spot. Caution comes out on lap 3 as the 37 of Nick Hernandez, pulling double duty tonight, loses it in turn number 4. Cody McDuffie, he would lead the 50 of Danny Anderson, and his caution then comes out on a lap 19 spin by the 21 of Jeff Futch. But during the caution, something would go bad for the 2nd place truck of Danny Anderson, so move the 64 of Brent Huber to 2nd and Steve Darvalix up into 3rd. Darvalix gets past Huber to take over 2nd, while Becca Monopoly would be stuck back in 6th, trailing Darvalix for the championship. Lap 40, it would get interesting. Leader Cody McDuffie, he gets turned off of turn 4 by Steve Darvalix, but it was recalled that McDuffie, he had slowed down. Something was going wrong with the back or with his car, and he was hit by Darvalix. Very crucial because Darvalix would get to maintain his position in the front. On the restart, Nick Hernandez would get second, recovering from a lap 3 spin. Lap 50, Hernandez gets by Darvalix to take the lead. Nick trying to crash the Coulter Series party and snag a win. On the restart, great battle for third between the 7 of Dylan Martin, winner the last time out here at DeSoto. He and Brent Huber would battle for the points spot for the third position in points, but give that spot to Martin. Lap 64, caution was set up an 11-lap shootout. Hernandez and Darvalix battle for the lead. 36 truck Chad Chastain has some contact with the outside wall and would bring out the yellow, ending his night. On the next restart, things get all bunched up. The 12 of Scott Hogan, he would slam the front stretch wall and come to a rest in turn number 1. On the restart, here's the chaos. Nick Hernandez and Steve Darvalix, they get together hard. Contact to the 41 of Darvalix, truck the 7 of Dylan Martin involved as well. But the big deal was that Darvalix would be sent back to 7th. And at that time, Becca Monopoly in the 59X, she would inherit the lead. Championship in her sights. Monopoly leads Brent Huber, who is all over the back bumper. Then a spin with 4 to go would bring out another yellow. Monopoly leads Huber. He looks inside. Huber gets turned at the line, and Brent Huber picks up the victory. The 59X of Becca Monopoly takes second, and Nick Hernandez third. Finally, we ended the night with 20 laps with the mini stocks. The 91C of Cameron Cruz has been making steady gains and getting closer to a win. He'd get out front tonight and check out. Cameron Cruz gets his first win this season. The 00 of Kenny Gibson had to fight hard to hang on to second, and he does with points leader, the 05, Ronnie Robinson, taking third. Well, Scott, another great sprint car race here. The TBARA Wing Sprints wrapped up their season in the 2014 championship, and not an easy one tonight for Shane Butler, as he got involved in an accident there, and he had to work his way back up to the field. And I'll give credit to Ben Fritz. This was probably the strongest Ben has looked all season here at DeSoto Speedway, because I know he wanted that championship bad. You've covered TBARA for years. What do you think it meant to Shane picking up the championship tonight and having to fight back to gain it? I mean, because we were saying up there is like, man, did Shane really just lose this? I mean, how do you think that he felt about that?
Well, it looked like when we were sitting there watching it, it looked like he hit the wall harder than he actually did. I mean, when he tried to dive underneath the 21 of Alfonso, even Shane said in Victory Lane that was a bonehead move on his part, and he shouldn't have put himself in that position. Coming back to the field like he did, to me, was a championship drive all the way through and through. It was within 7 or 8 laps. He got back up to 8th place, and as long as he stayed within, 7 spots of Fritz, he had the title locked up. He was beyond excited. I mean, it was his 3rd time he's won a championship in the TBARA, and then he was saying in Victory Lane he's parking the sprint car for a while. So I think that adds even more to him. I think he's still going to try to do little 500 possibly next year, but I don't think we're going to see much of him in a sprint car next year, and he wants to go play in the modifieds, it sounds like. So for him to be able to cap off what could be his last full season in sprint cars for a while, that's pretty special for him.
Yeah, I think we got our money's worth this year. We had 3 races with the TBARA Wing Sprints. Joey Aguilar took the first win earlier this year. Shane Butler picks up the second victory, and the one that everybody thought, Troy DeCare let slip away. But tonight, Troy came back and he wanted this one bad. And we were talking up there and we were following him the whole way around the track. And again, not as dominant. He moved up through the field a lot faster the last time, but more methodical tonight. Took care of his equipment, and he was able to last there at the end, and luckily didn't have any bad luck happen to him this week. So overall, what were your take from the race tonight?
Well, it was it looked like it was going to see who could keep up with him, and obviously the 16 was a lot stronger than we thought he was going to be tonight, and running for that championship. And he may have needed a couple more breaks here and there. Obviously, Shane coming back through the field, but he was strong, and it was a good show. I mean, there was some battling throughout. We saw some cars we haven't seen here for a while, Wendy Mathis being one of them. And it wasn't the best show of the year that we had, in my opinion, but it was a very good one. And basically, for the last time we'll see wing cars here this year. I know we've got a non-wing show in 2 weeks, so maybe that one will glue up to this one. But all in all, great job by Troy. And it was one that he wanted real bad, and he deserved it.
Great segue there. 2 weeks from now, we have the non-wing sprints here. And, Scott, I know, unfortunately, you're not going to be here. You're going to be up in Indianapolis. So it's all on me this time. So any advice, for, not a sprint car expert going forward here and, talking to these guys?
Sit back and enjoy the show and get your popcorn ready. That's what I can tell you.
Well, Scott, it's been awesome having you on here, breaking down the sprint cars all season. I appreciate it. And, like I said, we got non-wing sprints coming up in 2 weeks. So if you still want to get your sprint car fixed, come on out to the track. November 15th, we'll have the non-wing sprints. Well, it was a big night here at Desoto Speedway. Champions have been crowned here at Desoto Speedway, and we are getting ready to wrap up the season. Special thank you to J.D. Byrider for putting on the J.D. Byrider Open Wheel Modified 75-lap shootout. What a great race. So great having the Joey Coulter Series out here this year. Big championship night tonight for them. And as always, congratulations to Shane Butler and the Safety Clean TBARA Wing Sprints on picking up the 2014 championship. Had a little bit of controversy at the end of the Joey Coulter race. So they're trying to determine some points. At this time, we can't comment on who the 2014 champion is. As soon as the points are made available, we will let you all know, and we'll have a complete wrap-up on it on next week's episode of Turn 5 Racing. Speaking of that, next Saturday night, season finale for the Turner Tree and Landscape Super Late Models. They'll go for 75 laps as Jesse Dutilli looks to wrap up another championship this season. Joining them, we'll have the Pro Figure Eights, and if you were out here last June, you missed a heck of a school bus figure eight show. They will be back here at the High Banks of DeSoto Speedway. You do not want to miss that. The LKQ Pick Your Part Pure Stocks will also be in action, as well as the Sunbelt Rentals of Fort Myers Street Stocks and the Modified Minis. Happy hour will be from 5 to 6:30 as always. $2 draft beers at the bar. Come on out a little early, and we're going to have a great night of racing next Saturday night. Thanks for joining us on Turn 5 Racing. Special thank you to Scott Lockwood on sitting in. I'm your host, Jake Wilson. That's Bob Culbertson behind the camera as always, and we'll see you next time on Turn 5.